Recently, the YouTuber BornWithoutReligion started making videos again. One of the videos she made was about a topic that I've wanted to make a video about for a while, and it spurred me to finally make this video. So feel free to check her out and give her a proper Crocoduck Army welcome if you're in the market for a new subscription to tickle your brain every once in a while. Her video was about the differences between atheists that are ex-theists and atheists that were never-theists. I also wanted to make a video about belief persistence though, so I decided to combine the two here. I think these two topics are very much related actually. Belief persistence is a fascinating thing. It works very well for every type of belief, and religious people certainly understand this very well, even if they don't always delve too deeply into the science behind it. All of you who were brought up into a religion at a young age know that religious adults understand that the first person to plant that seed in a child's head about religious ideas is usually going to win the mind of that child, often forever. Unfortunately, that also makes religion very tough to shake off once they're old enough to understand the YouTube videos and other sources about the value of skepticism and demanding evidence and determining what is or is not actually likely to be true. Planting a belief that can be difficult or impossible to falsify is an insidious way of trapping a young brain. What percentage of kids in that Jesus Camp movie do you think will ever be atheists? A great example of this in action is a former coworker of mine that grew up nominally Christian but has been an atheist for decades. He doesn't really give the topic much thought, though, and he never really found a reason to reevaluate his beliefs on anything else when he decided he wasn't Christian anymore. We got on the topic of gay rights one day, and he parroted one of the fundamentalist Christian chestnuts on the topic right away, saying that he thought they just wanted to be gay because they felt like being promiscuous. That, of course, sounds silly to us, and especially odd coming from an atheist, but unless you take a fresh look at every preconception you had while you were in a religion, you'll keep the same beliefs. The same thing happened at a party where Mrs. Zaunstar, a Catholic turned deist, and a friend of mine at the party, an evangelical Protestant turned deist, talked about evolution. As a former Catholic, Mrs. Zaunstar was never taught to reject evolution, so she accepts it. But the friend continues to not accept it, just as she was taught when she was in a religion, even a decade after the reason for those beliefs was gone. So it seems that even when someone decides they no longer believe in an unseen deity, there's still a lot of mental work that can be done to set themselves up to succeed in their new lives minus religion. I would encourage anyone who's recently gone through it to let that event force a rethinking of everything else you believe, to see if other long-held ideas will still hold up without the religion puppeteer holding you up by invisible strings. This is of course easy for me to say, having never had to go through what I'm sure can be a very painful process, and the mental energy to really change your thinking may not be available for a while after deconverting. I met someone in the Crocoduck Army a few months back, actually, that grew up Christian, and in an evening that was otherwise filled with good food and laughter, he got very serious when he told me, "Eric, you're so lucky you didn't have to go through what I did to become an atheist." I've been told that deconverting can be very difficult, and I don't doubt it one bit. Especially at the beginning, I can see that there would be a lot of trouble settling into your newfound reality. It can be difficult when you remove that warm, fuzzy blanket of a man in the clouds that cares about you, no matter what stupid things you've done. Eventually, though, ex-theists learn that the warm, fuzzy blanket of reality is just as comfortable and requires much less cognitive dissonance. I'm very interested in understanding the struggles that ex-theists go through, so I'd love to hear your stories in a comment or video response, and I will watch and comment on all video responses on this topic. I've never been saddled with religion, but for those of you that recently deconverted and are struggling with their newfound grasp of reality, I'd like to give you some personal encouragement, because dumping God is just the beginning of the journey.